Not quite my tempo.
I'm gonna make him an offer again.
Welcome to the show, Multiplex Those Movies, episode number 84. Over the last 84 weeks, more like 87, 88, we skip a few weeks every now and then. You've watched me progressively get drunker as the weeks go on. Well, I'm here to tell you this is my first drink of the evening, so that won't be tonight. Hello! Welcome to the show. Movie news. We're going to talk about it. The panel tonight. Mr. Koho, sporting the famous red beanie. Koho, how are you?
I'm doing all right. My pride is not recovered from a certain video store video I filmed earlier today involving a New Zealander and a pretentious hack. But I got to rank pirates after, so I'm doing all right.
That's fair. That's fair. Maggie, you are back once again, sporting the famous red scarf. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm not cold for once in my life, which is kind of surprising.
Yeah, you're usually cold, especially when we do this program. So that's good news. Very good news. We actually have a surprising amount of news to talk about this week. So we couldn't even get to everything. Oh my God. So we're going to try to break down the most important stuff from the week, starting off with the box office, because I think there are still some interesting things to talk about. Finally, with the box office. So, as we discussed last week, Godzilla vs. Kong continues to crush another 13.8 million. It's already surpassed the worldwide total, the domestic total of Wonder Woman, like we talked about last week. Nobody making 2.6, The Unholy making another 2.4, Raya making another 2.2. And the only newcomer of the week, Voyagers, in 5th place with 1.3. Godzilla vs. Kong, the worldwide total has almost hit what Godzilla King of the Monsters did when the world was normal. This is insane. Maggie, thoughts on the box office?
Yeah, no, that makes me so happy and also sad because Godzilla King of the Monsters didn't do very well, but it's very exciting that this movie is succeeding. I hope it's not an anonym, whatever. You know what I mean.
Anomaly.
I got there.
Yes. Think Angels and Airwaves.
Right, I know. That's what I was thinking. Anyway.
That was funny.
Yeah, and it's also excellent to see, Raya and Nobody continuing to make millions of dollars in a weekend. Obviously, it's only like $2 million, but it's still more than $1 million. So,
yeah, Nobody has grossed 29 million worldwide, which for a movie that cost 16 million to make, that was released even before Godzilla vs. Kong, that's pretty good. And then I actually have no idea how, because Raya had a disappointing weekend and I cried and I've never really looked. Raya's only made 104.7 worldwide, which is kind of insane because the movie's fucking dope. So the fact that it's not making as much, who knows? Koho, what do you think about the box office?
It's nice to see. It was nice when I was making it that I didn't have to put a K on there anywhere. That it was all millions again. So that's nice. That's a nice trend that I like to see keep going up. I'm glad that movies are making money. That's good to see, especially after some of the closures of chains that came out yesterday. So it's nice to see that we're making money yet.
What did I not hear about? What are you talking about?
ArcLight went under, and so did Pacific.
Oh, I did not hear about ArcLight. That's a big one for like a lot of California people. That's kind of where they were based out of, right? ArcLight.
Yeah.
Well, AMC will be able to fill your movie needs. So go check out an AMC theater. No, this is not paid promotion. I think there's a lot of I said like earlier, the box office is just continuing to grow and grow as we go on. The fact that a movie like The Unholy has made 7 million in general is kind of crazy. It hasn't even opened, or I'm sorry, I think it has opened overseas, but not like in a lot of places, just a couple. So the fact that it's made $7 million is kind of fucking nuts. But like we said, Godzilla is kind of the big one. It dropped only 56%, which normally that would be a pretty big drop. But in this climate and this time, with nothing else really coming out, it's kind of nuts. And I also want to touch a number 6 spot. Tom and Jerry still making money. It made another $1.1 million for some reason.
Not a lot of kids right now.
Yeah, it's $3,000 away from breaking 100 million, which is kind of insane. Like it's doing like almost as well as Raya, which is kind of nuts to me, considering they were both like straight to VOD, straight theaters as well. So. Yep, very interesting stuff that we'll continue to look at over the next few weeks. But the next thing we're going to talk about is still going to have to do with money. We're still going to be talking about moolah. Black Widow is in the news. It's guys, we got the official rating. We don't have to worry anymore. This movie is PG-13. I know you guys were worried. I thought personally this was going to be the one to make the G rating for the MCU, but nonetheless, it got the PG-13 rating, and it is rated PG-13. Are you ready? This is pretty intense. Are you guys ready? Intense sequences of violence and action, some language, and thematic material.
Ooh.
I am shook. I am so shocked at this news. No, I'm not. This makes total sense. Of course, this movie was going to be PG-13. Why would it not? It makes sense. But what this does mean is that the movie's a lock. It's officially done because it's rated, and we will. I think we've been saying it for months, but I can confidently say this time that this one is coming out July 9th. Maggie, thoughts on Black Widow?
Being rated PG-13?
Yeah.
Okay. Good story.
Yep. Okay. Koho.
I, for one, am very personally disappointed in Marvel for including thematic material in their films. I will not be taking my child that I don't have to see Black Widow on opening weekend. No, I mean, cool.
So yeah, and then the other thing with the Black Widow, apparently, from what reports are saying, is that because the movie was pushed from May 1st or May 7th, I'm sorry, to July 9th, that 2 months, analysts are saying that it has tripled its box office projections, more than tripled its box office projections. So we could be looking at a movie that makes 75 or up to 100 million. The Observer is also reporting that it might even get up to 150, 170, which is kind of insane. I think it was announced yesterday that California theaters will be allowed to be at 100% capacity in movie theaters starting in June. Wow. So that's well before this movie. So if we're at 100% capacity by the time Black Widow comes out, you can bet if California is doing that a lot of other places are going to be doing that. Yeah. So Maggie, what do you think about this money stuff with Black Widow?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised that they're projecting that it's going to make more if they push it. You know, more and more people are getting vaccinated now. That thing, that's kind of crazy that California is going to allow 100% capacity. That seems unlikely.
I'm pretty sure that's what I read. Let me Google it while you're talking.
But okay, if that is true, then the whole country is going to go 100% capacity, probably, unless like AMC decides they're going to limit it as a company.
That's
just for a
true.
Little bit longer, which they could do and have been doing in some places.
Well, that's the thing. Like Wisconsin allows 100% capacity.
Oh, do they?
In movie theaters.
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
That kind of surprises me, to be honest.
But AMC has a a 40% capacity limit.
Yeah. Interesting. No, I mean, I think that it makes sense the projections are up higher for the delay. It makes the delay make sense, and I hope that they're right, basically, because if they're wrong and it still doesn't make a lot of money, we're going to be in deep shit.
Wait, we're going to be in deep shit of what?
If it doesn't make as much money as they're projecting. If it makes less, then Marvel's going to be pissed.
Oh, because they pushed it and everything?
Yeah, and that it's still not making money, and they're just going to keep pushing their movies and or releasing them on Disney Plus, and we don't want that.
Yeah,
so,
I think them saying that 170 million is kind of like, that's insane to me. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, based on how well Godzilla vs. Kong did in March, that by July, Black Widow, I think, could break 100 million. I do genuinely think that. But
in opening weekend, you're saying?
In an opening weekend, break 100, because what did Godzilla vs. Kong do in 5 days? 47 or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Last week?
47. It's always 47.
Well, it's always 47. So I think that by the time we get to July, when you have IMAX and 3D and all those things piling into account, people wanting to see this movie, it's clear people want to get to the theater. They didn't care that Godzilla vs. Kong was on HBO. They went and saw it. So
right.
I think it's possible it breaks 100 million, which, if I'm being honest, that would be really good for Black Widow in general. So yeah, I think this is great. Koho, any thoughts?
If this shit makes 150 million opening weekend and they're letting 100% of the country, or the 100% of the people in California theaters, I'll be happy. Cool. Like, if it's safe enough for us to do that, like, let's go. The closer we're back to normal, the better. So I hope it makes 150 million. I want them to keep making these things and putting them in theaters. So I hope the projections are right. Don't be wrong on this one.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. Is normally, I think they tend to overestimate than underestimate what some of these movies are going to do. I'm trying to find that article I read yesterday, but I'll keep looking for it while we keep talking. But let's move on to the next story. The next one is, we got more Shazam news that Koho is going to explain to us. Lucy Liu has been cast in Shazam Dos by Maggie as a character. I don't know the character's name. I don't really get it. I don't know what's happening. Koho, what do you know about Lucy Liu in Shazam 2?
Did they announce what her character name is?
Yes,
yeah.
It is.
Calypso.
Calypso. Oh shit! What?
Yeah.
Oh fuck. Okay, we're going to some dumb shit places in Shazam 2. Calypso is a character that is very magic based, is very powerful and kind of dumb. Sometimes really dumb, sometimes really cool. Depends on the writer, depends on the artist. But most of the time she fights Shazam. Sometimes she fights Wonder Woman. Pretty dope. I'm in. If with Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu as the bad guys of this Shazam movie, give it all, inject it in my veins. Let's go. We're going to the weird places of DC.
All right, so Maggie, based off of that, what do you think?
I mean, Shazam already is the weird places of DC, I feel like, so it's fine.
That's true. It's actually... Good, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, if you're going to cast amazing people to play these characters, that makes me happy, and I trust them, so even though that hasn't worked out for them in the past, Wonder Woman 1984, but we'll see.
That's fair. So I found the article. California theaters can open at full capacity on June 15th. So with no certainty on when theaters would be able to open at full capacity, some films like Black Widow delayed themselves later into the summer. But according to Deadline, California Governor Gavin Newsom announced that California is lifting restrictions on June 15th, 2021, which will allow movie theaters to open at full capacity. However, the mask mandate will still be in place. The date will mark 8 weeks from when vaccines will open up to all California residents. So 8 weeks after everybody's eligible for a vaccine is when that will happen for them. Cool. Okay. Yeah, as far as my take on this, Lucy, I haven't seen a lot of Lucy Liu movies, but everything I've ever seen her in, she's great. And so I think that, like Maggie said, like adding people of different nationalities and genders is really important in these movies. And now we have two really awesome, badass female villains in Shazam 2. So that will be very interesting. And yes, of course, Dane County will be at 50% until the end of 2037.
Good thing we don't live there anymore.
Anyway, so the next story that we're going to talk about is going to be one of the big ones from the week. Paramount coming in and messing with my life, but also kind of makes sense after all this Black Widow talk. So basically, Paramount came in, shuffled some of their movies. Not all of them. We're still getting A Quiet Place in May. We're still getting, I forget what there was another one that didn't move anywhere, but the big moves are Snake Eyes actually is getting released way earlier. It was supposed to come out in October. It's now coming out in July. It took the spot of Top Gun Maverick. So Snake Eyes, the new G.I. Joe movie starring Henry Golding, who is the bomb, July. Jackass 4, for some reason, is now coming out in October. Top Gun Maverick moving to November. Mission Impossible 7, which was going to come out in November, has been moved to May. And then we have Dungeons and Dragons and Mission Impossible 8 being pushed into the 2023. This depresses me, but also it makes sense. Mission Impossible was going to shoot back to back. They ended up not doing that because of everything. So I think they either just wrapped 7 or are like about to wrap 7. Probably couldn't make it to the November release, or they just wanted to push Top Gun there. I don't know what they're doing. Why Top Gun in November versus Snake Eyes? I don't really know. But I'm just glad that they're not just pushing everything further and further out. They're taking something, lifting it up, taking something else, pushing it back. It is what it is. I think they are kind of maybe banking on Top Gun making more money than Snake Eyes, maybe, and that might be the push. But I don't know. Interesting stuff. Nothing that I'm super, super upset about other than Mission Impossible, to be honest, only because I love those movies so much. But now we get it in May, which is kind of a big deal, like a big Mission Impossible movie in May. That's kind of cool. So, Koho, what do you think?
This is like the first time that Mission Impossible has been on Memorial Day weekend since like 2, isn't it? Like when they with 7 now.
Yeah, I think so.
That's kind of fun. Like it's the first time. It's like the soonest we'll get a Mission Impossible movie in like a calendar year now. So that'll be fun. I'm in. But yeah, makes sense. Like I get why they're moving things around for now. I can see why they're putting Top Gun in November, just because it feels like they're putting a lot of the studios are starting to shuffle blockbusters towards the October-November range, just so they have absolute room to have success and like get back into the theaters and stuff. So I could see why Paramount's biggest blockbuster this year is Top Gun. Like it's kind of Top Gun, which is kind of sad.
Or A Quiet Place, yeah.
Or A Quiet Place, but like both of them are like, that's also kind of sad that those two. Like that shows you the lack of IP that Paramount has had in the decline of them in the last 10 years. So yeah, I mean, I it makes sense to me.
Yeah, and Tom Cruise stars in like half of their popular.
Yeah.
Maggie, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised that they moved Top Gun to November. It's the holiday season. It's a big name movie. I think that has more to do with it than anything, and a lot less people are going to go see the Snake Eyes movie, I think, because that has a more specific audience. I am disappointed that Mission Impossible is now, over a year away still. But it is what it is. I'm glad also that Quiet Place stayed the same. I think that is a really good sign. And I hope that movie makes a bunch of money too.
Yeah, me too, honestly. I think that by the time that Mission Impossible comes out, it will have been just shy of 4 years since we got Fallout. So in the grand scheme of things, it's not that long, but also it feels like it feels so long. It feels long because we've been wanting more. Okay.
Oh, trust me, that's how I feel about Death on the fucking Nile.
That's fair. When did the first one come out? 2017?
2017. around my birthday was when the Murder on the Orient Express came out, and then Death on the Nile was supposed to be like my birthday 2020, and it's almost 2022 when I see it.
We're gonna stay in Paramount talk. They announced as well a couple things, some small stuff, but the big thing that they announced was finally they dated a Star Trek movie. Star Trek is returning to movie theaters. In what capacity? We don't know yet, but we know that it's coming to movie theaters in 2023, summer of 2023. We will get a new Star Trek movie. We don't know if this is a continuation of the Kelvin movies with Chris Pine. We don't know if this is something new. We just don't know. A lot of people are speculating that this might be a in the vein of the original series and Next Generation. This might be a Star Trek Discovery movie, because that show is super popular on CBS right now, or on, Paramount Plus. So I want to see Star Trek 4 with Chris Pine and that crew. I love those characters. I like that crew. I want to see that, but who knows? I'm just up for more Star Trek, because as I watch these movies more and more, I do genuinely like a lot of the movies. It's just not my favorite thing, but I really like those new three. So I want to see what they're going to do next. Koho, you're a big Star Trek fan ever since you were a kid, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
Please tell us, what do you think about Star Trek? What do you want this new movie to be?
I want this to be Star Trek 4 more than anything. Like, I really want this to be the Chris Pine crew, because I love those new three. I love that cast chemistry. I love Chris Pine as Kirk. Like, I think he's better than Shatner, to be totally honest. I love that Kelvin timeline and what they've been doing with it. So I really hope it's a continuation of that in some way. But I also have a really weird like fascination with the hope that it's the Tarantino script. Like, I don't think Tarantino's going to direct it, and I don't want him to. But if they are going to do something totally new, just make Tarantino's fucking script. Let me see what Tarantino's Star Trek looks like. It's going to be so bonkers and weird. I'd rather watch the Tarantino Star Trek than a Discovery movie, because I think Discovery is stupid.
Have you watched it?
Yeah, I watched the first 3 episodes. I'm like, this is stupid. I'm not in. Like, this is just, it's like them trying to do classic Trek in the Kelvin sort of timeline area. Like, it's like right in the Kelvin timeline before we get to that. And it's like, it just makes no sense. Like, tonally, why they're trying to copy like old Star Trek shows in the Kelvin timeline, which is supposed to be totally different. And like they did like a weird thing later, but like I'm not I don't like the Discovery crew. I'm not really into it, but like,
isn't Spock on that show too?
Spock shows up at some point. It's weird. Like, it's like, and it's also not Zachary Quinto. So it's like, it's supposed to be Zachary Quinto. It's not. It's very clearly it's supposed to be. But it's just, yeah, I'm not a fan of Discovery. If they wanted to, I'd be really open to doing like adaptations of some of the old shows and Kelvinizing them. If we did a Kelvinized version of The Next Generation, a Kelvinized version of Enterprise or Voyager or Deep Space Nine, I'd like to see what a Kelvin, like, imagine doing Deep Space Nine in the Kelvin verse with like Michael B. Jordan as Cisco. Like, I'd watch that. I'd be all in on seeing what a Kelvin version of those. Sorry,
I don't know what they mean.
I'd like to see what the old characters from the old shows look like in the new timeline, not just the original series cast. I think that'd be fun. So that's an idea.
I actually don't hate that idea about rebooting Next Generation and doing Next Generation in the Kelvin timeline. You cast someone as a young Picard or something like that. And you also cast someone.
James McAvoy.
You cast.
Just get James McAvoy. He's clearly good at being a young Patrick Stewart.
That is fucking genius. Fucking Paramount.
Call me.
Koho just gave you $1 million idea. Let's fucking go.
Let me write it. Let me write your Star Trek movie.
Yeah, let's fucking get James McAvoy to play Picard. We'll get some guy to play the worst character, Worf. We'll get no, I'm just kidding.
Batista. Get Batista to be Worf. Why not?
I'm just trying to fuck with Nick. No, I actually really like that idea though, because I don't like the Next Generation. So I'd be up for a reboot. Maggie, your thoughts?
I hope it's not a Discovery movie, because every time that they make movies based on TV shows, which is most of them, they're not very good, or they just they assume that you've seen the TV show, and that just really loses me as someone who hasn't. So I hope they don't do that. I would really, really like it to be a Star Trek 4 with Chris Pine and all of them, but I know that they're busy and they have lives, so we'll see. Though I think Chris Pine has said that he would be open to doing it again. In terms of rebooting the Next Generation, I guess. Star Trek is super overrated, and they don't need to be constantly making these movies. I'm sorry, but it's true. So I'm sure I'll see whatever it is. I do hope it's Star Trek 4, but we'll see.
That's a Worf quote, but you don't know that because you suck. What is a Worf quote? I'm so confused.
Alan Tudyk as Data would be dope. That's really good call, Garth. That's dope.
That would actually be very good. I see. This is what I was. Nick, if you had gotten here a couple minutes early, I don't know if you've been here the whole time or not, but I said I like Star Trek. Back off. Okay, so.
Tim Smith is so mad that we like the Kelvin movies. I forgot how much he hates the new Star Trek shit.
He doesn't like it?
Hates it. He hates new Star Trek.
Oh, well, he's wrong, so.
He's like my music teacher who like just loves the old stuff and none of the new stuff.
So he's an old man.
Yes, Tim Smith is an old man. We watched our Hellboy 2019 vlog last night, or last night at Tim's Movies. Fucking Tim Smith's like 10-minute rant in there is so good.
I don't remember that, so I'll have to go back. I saw that you
good.
Posted it, that it was like
it's so good.
2 years ago today. I was like, oh shit.
Dude,
but
Cody's
anyway.
cut in and it's so good. Anyway.
Oh, when I
cutting it on Cody, and Cody goes, "This fucking movie is so good."
Everybody go over to my personal channel, Tim Loves Movies, search Hellboy movie review. The big multiplex crew did a review.
If you want to get a taste of what the Chicago vlog would have been like, it's that video.
That's fair. Okay, let's move on to the next topic. This one is more so for me and Maggie, but Saw 10 has been announced for reasons. This is on the before we get Spiral, which is coming out in May, and they've already announced Saw 10. They haven't said that this is a sequel to Spiral. They haven't said if it's a whatever. Here's the thing: I'm a big fan of this franchise. I love these movies. They're kind of mostly crap, save for like the first 3, but I like them. I even liked the newest one, the 2017 one, Jigsaw. I liked that movie. I'm sure I'm going to like Spiral, even though I think it's weird that Chris Rock is starring in a Saw movie with Sam Jackson. It's weird to me, but I'm probably going to love it. So I don't really know what we're doing because Jigsaw set up something very new, and I don't think Spiral's going in that direction, so I don't know what's happening, what they're going to be doing with Saw 10, but I'm looking forward to anything Saw because now that it's kind of broken out of that yearly cycle, like we got 7 movies every year from 2004 to 2010, and that's just a lot. So now that we've kind of broken them up a little bit, I think that helps the franchise a lot more. I'm excited about more Saw, but I want them to be good. Maggie, any thoughts?
Yeah, no, I agree that it's unclear what's happening exactly, like between Spiral and this. But I agree that I'm gonna see it because it's Saw, and so that is how it is.
All right. I just looked back at the chat, and I am in the. I'm shopping for a new Teams partner. If anyone would like to be my Teams partner in Fandom Fights. Coming to FanZone, pitch the Next Generation reboot. I like that. Koho, thoughts on Saw 10? Have you seen any Saw movies? I don't even know.
I doubt it. Yeah.
Saw is not a franchise that I've had a ton of interest in watching. I'm sure I'm going to have to at some point, especially with horror icons being a thing, and eventually Saw might work its way in. So eventually I'll have to watch them. But Spiral is one I actually it looks cool. I saw the trailer for it. I'm like, this might be the most accessible Saw movie for me to get into at this point in time, so I'm excited for that. Chris Rock being in it now doesn't freak me out as much because like Fargo season 4, you see him play a dramatic role.
I still haven't watched Fargo 4 yet.
It's fine.
Okay.
I don't love Fargo season 4. I think he's really good in it. But like it's really watching Chris Rock do anything anymore. It's just really hard because I close my eyes and I see a zebra. So it's like it's just really hard.
I feel the same thing. Like I just hear his voice, and it's just like I can't do that.
What's crack-a-lackin' is all I hear every time. So it's I can't wait to watch. I can't wait to watch Spiral. Close my eyes, and I just picture a different movie where it's a zebra and Mace Windu just walking around in a Saw movie.
Fair. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing. We got a little bit of casting news. Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Why did I just mess up the name? It's Phoebe Waller-Bridge, right? I'm not crazy. Mm-hmm. Has joined the cast of Indy 5. She joins Old Man Ford as Indiana Jones. This is being directed by Logan Ford v Ferrari and the Wolverine director, Mr. Mangold. So I'm very much, I've said on the show, I'm very much looking forward to Indiana Jones 5. I love those first 3 movies. I haven't seen Crystal Skull in a long time, but I'm very much looking forward to this. I've never seen Fleabag, but I hear she's incredible. The only thing I really know her from is Solo. So like, sorry. But no, I'm looking forward to this because everybody says that she's great. So I'm willing to watch her in anything. And this seems cool to me. So yeah. Koho, any thoughts?
She co-wrote No Time to Die, but I don't know if she's in it.
She co-wrote it, but I do not know if she's in
okay.
it. I don't.
I was gonna say there's another thing that I can maybe see her in to get an idea of what Indy 5 will be like. I'm just kind of want to just see Indy 5. I'm a little bummed that like Spielberg's not doing it, but like Mangold's like the perfect choice to do it instead. I'm glad. The other thing they confirmed over the week is that John Williams is doing the score for the last one, so I'm excited for that. I'm sure she's gonna be good. Like they wouldn't cast her if she wasn't going to be good. But like I the only thing that I saw on the internet revolving around Indiana Jones 5 that now I'm super curious about is that technically the Young Indiana Jones show from the 90s is canon. It's officially completely canon within the movies as part of it. And there's an episode with Old Man Indiana Jones where he has an eye patch. And so canonically he has lost an eye when he's by the time he's in his like 80s. So is he gonna lose a fucking eye in this movie? I sure to God hope so, as a canon nut for a franchise that I don't give a shit about the canon for. But I hope Indiana Jones finds great. I hope this could be good.
Maggie, you have an interesting relationship with Indiana Jones. We talk about it, and you seem to enjoy it and like it and want to watch it, and then you watch it and you hate it. So tell me, are you excited for this movie, and what is your overall take on the Joneses?
I am excited for this movie. I'm not sure why it's happening because, you know, we don't need to keep making the same things, people. But I'm cool with seeing a new take. I hope that I'm glad that James Mangold is doing it instead. Yeah. Just because I think that having a fresh take is going to be good. Like Tim, I don't know a lot about Phoebe Waller-Bridge, but I'm sure she'll be great. I cannot imagine that they will ever convince Harrison Ford to wear an eye patch.
True.
So Koho, I'm sorry to kill your dreams.
I don't know about that. They convinced him to act alongside a fucking CGI dog.
That is true.
They let Toby Kebbell lick his face.
It was Terry Notary.
That is true. I don't know. I'm honestly kind of indifferent, if I'm being honest.
That's fair. Well, we'll see the movie soon. Who knows when, but we'll see it sometime.
Yeah, I was saying soon.
I think next year, right? It's coming out next year.
Yeah,
they haven't even started making it yet.
Well, they're moving mountains. I'll find out when it's coming out. Yeah, while we're talking about the next thing. The next thing we are going to talk about is the last story of the day. Sony and Netflix have made a deal. Going forward, every Sony movie released will end up on Netflix. Now, what this means, lots of different moving pieces here. The movies, that does not mean that Sony and Netflix are now one thing. That does not mean that you're only going to be able to see Sony movies on Netflix, that they're not going to go to theaters. None of that. No. The movies are still going to be released in theaters, released on DVD and Blu-ray and all that stuff, put on digital so you can rent it and buy it on Vudu, when all that is said and done, and those windows are completed and those contracts are fulfilled, the movies will end up on Netflix. So you're not going to be able to watch them on Amazon, Hulu, Paramount Plus, obviously, because that's Paramount, but all of those different, the Shudder, Crackle, Peacock, all the things, you're not going to be able to watch any Sony movies going forward unless it's on Netflix. And this begins starting next year with Morbius, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2, and all the other new releases coming out next year from Sony. So Maggie, what do you think about this news?
I'm honestly not surprised. I mean, I think that this is a move by Sony because they don't want to have to make their own streaming service, because that's what everyone else is doing, between Disney and HBO and Paramount Plus. So I think it makes a lot of sense for them to make a deal with Netflix to ensure that they don't have to deal with all these different streaming services. Plus, Netflix is the streaming service. I mean, it really is. So I think this makes sense for both Sony and Netflix, really.
Koho, thoughts from you?
Makes sense. They bought Mitchell's versus the Machines from Sony, so they have like a working relationship. And they, I think Trial was Paramount, not Sony, when Netflix bought it, but it could have been Sony. But yeah,
I think it was Universal, but
maybe I don't know. At this point, Netflix is really good at buying shit from people and making their own thing with it. So makes sense. They at least have the work relationship with that. So I just can't wait for the big banner on Netflix that's just Venom. Let there be carnage.
Mm-hmm.
So
don't get me started on Venom 2. Jake Marangoni's most anticipated movie of 2022. Okay, guys, that's gonna do it for us today at Multiplex Loves Movies. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We talked about a lot of stuff, a bit of an active chat. I like it a lot, except for when Nick Twig was mean to me. So
Nick Twig's a bully.
He's a big bearded bully. Tomorrow night, Top 100 continues with episode numero 2, so be on the lookout for that, because Kirk is good at yelling at people and Cody's good at hurting Koho's dreams about La La Land. It's my favorite part of last week's episode. And then we do have a new fan zone. We do have a new fandom and Warzone this weekend as well, and a new miscellaneous 2X trivia night, the whole 9 yards. It's gonna be crazy up at Multiplex.
This weekend is what? We have a number one contenders match release this weekend for Fandom, don't we?
Yes, we do. We have a team's number one contenders match featuring one McCaw and her team partner Tyler playing.
Comes out this weekend?
Yeah,
this weekend.
Yeah. Thanks for shooting it so late, guys. That's why I had to edit it today. So
and
got that too.
Matthew Chen versus Sanju Bar, and Dragons Roar versus Chaotic Angels, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
Which is a match. I'm still in my old apartment in that match. I'm going to go back there just for that match. So be on the lookout.
For that one.
I'm going to take these shelves, bring them all the way back there, fill them up, and grow my hair out just for that match. It's going to be really exciting. So, guys, thank you for watching the episode. Check out all that stuff we were talking about. We'll see you next week, same time, same bat channel. Until then, grab a Michelob Ultra, kiss your loved ones, and bye.
Take care.
You're still here? It's over.
She's out of our hair, and just when I dare to care, she says, au contraire, you're my pair of friends. I love you.
Keep it together.